everyone, my name is Jamie Santamore. You are listening to the Maine Morgue. There is so much stuff that I want to talk about this week. I'm going to just jump right in and start off with my movie talk segment this week. This week I watched the original Star Wars trilogy, which I've seen probably 100 times all the way through, parts 4, 5, and 6. And it's one of my non-favorite horror series, for a bunch of reasons. The story, the visuals, the characters are all friggin' amazing. I can't say enough good things about the original Star Wars trilogy. My favorite character, like millions of other people, is Master Yoda. Yoda is a leader and, of course, the trainer of the Jedi. And a big part in the first 6 films. I also watched a film called Open Windows, starring Elijah Wood and Sasha Grey. Excuse me. This movie, wow, it just blew me away. The visuals were amazing. The twisting story with a lot of action and twists and turns at every corner for almost the entire 100-minute runtime. The only thing I didn't like about this movie was literally the last 2 minutes of the movie. Other than that, I would say this is a movie that I would surely watch again. Lastly, this week I want to talk about a TV show that I watched, that I own on DVD, and that being season 1 of Arrow. And I decided I was going to watch it from the beginning up until season 4, because I don't have season 4 on DVD yet, because I want to get hyped for the season 5 premiere, which happens on October 5th on the CW at 8 o'clock. I really enjoy the way that this show is written. I think the cast is perfect. I love Katie Cassidy as Laurel Lance. I love Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen, a.k.a. The Arrow. Emily Britt Rickards as Felicity Smoke is amazing. I think she's quirky and funny, and I love the way they write her dialogue, how she always seems to say the wrong thing at the wrong time. And I absolutely love Manu Bennett as Slade Wilson, a.k.a. Deathstroke. I think he's a brilliant actor for this role. I'm a huge Deathstroke fan based on the TV show. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing Joe Manganiello tackle the character of Deathstroke in the Ben Affleck written and directed and also starring solo Batman movie in the DC Extended Universe. Speaking of the DC Extended Universe, I've got to voice my opinion, and I think I might have talked about it on a previous show. This is episode 10, so I'm sure I mentioned it in passing. But anyways, what disappoints me about the DC Extended Universe is that Oliver Queen, a.k.a. The Arrow, the Green Arrow, doesn't exist in the DC Extended Universe. It makes me ask, what's the point of having the Arrow TV show? It's like The Flash. Grant Gustin, who plays Barry Allen, also known as The Flash, in the CW TV series, is not playing The Flash in the DC Extended Universe, or the Cinematic Universe, which bothers me on many levels. Not that I dislike Ezra Miller, who was playing The Flash in the Cinematic Universe. It's just, I think, if you're going to make TV shows, the actors should transfer to the big screen. I think Stephen Amell would make an amazing Green Arrow in the Justice League. I know everybody will say that he's a minor Justice League member, but, it is what it is. He's a member of the Justice League, and he's got an established character on the TV show, so I don't see the point of not putting him in the movies. And that's just the way I feel about it. Alright, I'm going to take a short break, and I'll be right back. Hey everybody, this is the Maine Morgue. My name is Jamie Santamore, and what I'm here to talk about during this little commercial break is the Maine Morgue needs your help to get better. In order to do this, we have started a GoFundMe page. The address is gofundme.com/The Maine Morgue. We are looking to raise $300 to get better equipment to do the podcast with, and hopefully get some green screen equipment and be able to do different things with the show and make it a video podcast as well as the audio. I would love to do one segment a week with video. To make that happen, I need your help. So please donate to the Maine Morgue. GoFundMe.com/the Maine Morgue. And thank you so much for your continued support with the Maine Morgue. Welcome back. I've been getting a lot of emails this week since I wrote on Facebook earlier this week that I was rewriting my screenplay for Wicked Carnival. Now, keep in mind, for those of you that are new listeners or might not know, the original plan was for Wicked Carnival to be my first film. But because I was a first-time filmmaker, I needed to be smart and look at the risk and reward of making such a big budget film as my first film. It was estimated that it would cost $100,000 to make, with the renting of the fairgrounds, rental of rides and games, etc., plus buying cameras and all that stuff. So I shelved Wicked Carnival in favor of Sins of Man and its two sequels. We're 2/3 of the way through that trilogy, and believe it or not, I'm really looking forward to what's next after the trilogy is complete in 2017. You know, I'm already looking past the trilogy as to what the next project's going to be. I just finished writing a 10-episode web series called The Demon Within, and this is breaking news because I haven't told anybody on social media about what the project is. That countdown on Facebook where I would write 1 down, 9 to go, 2 down, 8 to go, and so forth, was about the web series. I started working on this during the pre-production of Sins of Man 2 Vengeance and finished it last week, which I was very happy to finish it. And I was thinking, when I was writing it, that it could be a prequel to Wicked Carnival. However, after pulling out the shooting script for Wicked Carnival, I don't really want to rewrite Wicked Carnival to coincide with The Demon Within. And the reason I did that is I started reading the script last night, and I like it more as a standalone film or a first film in a franchise than I like the idea of rewriting it. And this really makes it very open as to what will be the next project after we complete the trilogy, the Sins of Man trilogy, next year. I really want to do the web series because it's something I haven't done, and I think production-wise, I think it'll be a lot easier because each episode is going to be between 14 and 20 minutes long, except for the mid-season finale and the season finale, which are going to be extended because of, that's just the way I wanted to do it. I knew going into it that the last episode, episode 10, would not have a time restraint on it because I want to be able to tie up as many loose ends as possible. It can be the web series next or Wicked Carnival. And it's not like I have to pick one or the other because they're both on the release schedule. It's just a matter of choosing whether to rewrite Wicked Carnival to coincide with the web series or do the web series and just have Wicked Carnival come out as a separate, currently a standalone movie. I would really love to hear people's thoughts about this, so if you want to drop me an email, themainmorgue@gmail.com. And maybe if you guys respond well, I can release some details about each project to you guys. And I really enjoy fan interaction. I say this every week, but it's true. I love getting emails from you guys. I love getting tweets from you guys. I really enjoy reading them, and I feel like I get to know my fan base and what they're looking for and what they want. And never hesitate to email me and say, hey, you know what? I saw Rise of Mortis. I'm looking forward to seeing Vengeance. I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about Tribulation, or ask me questions directly and I will email you back and reply to the questions. I really enjoy talking to you guys. So if you got some thoughts as to doing the web series or Wicked Carnival first, I'd love to hear from you guys. Alright, I'm going to take a short break. You're listening to the Maine Morgue. I'll be right back. Do you have screens that need repair? Call John Screen Repair at 207-650-1767 or reach out to them by email, cubman428@yahoo.com. They do screen doors, window screens, sliding screen doors, you name it, they can fix it. Once again, that's John Screen Repair, 207-650-1767. Alright, I'm back, and speaking of being back, football's back. Now, I've probably mentioned this a couple times on the show. My wife is a huge New York Giants fan. They got an amazing 1-point win over the much disliked Dallas Cowboys in our household. And I am a very proud Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And we pulled off an amazing win over the Washington Redskins, which is good because it helps my wife's Giants. And it helps us start the season off with a win. And you know, I follow college football as I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan. I was born in Columbus, Georgia, so I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan. I'm a fan of all the Georgia sports teams. You know, the Braves, the Hawks, the Falcons. Falcons had a crushing loss this week, but we'll see. You know, for me, I don't watch every Bulldogs game because of the fact that I live in the Northeast and I don't pay for all those football packages from Time Warner Cable. But the main reason I don't watch every week is college football is very flawed in many ways for me. Like this past weekend, there were no top 25 ranked team versus ranked team games. And this makes no sense to me. As a fan of football, I want to see the best teams play each other. Not a ranked team versus a good unranked team or a bad unranked team. And see the highlights on SportsCenter and the score of the game was 52-10. I think that's bullshit schedule making, and in my opinion, it just sucks. I mean, you have Alabama playing Appalachia State. I know that's not the game that was played this week, but you get the point. The number one team in the country plays an unranked team and gets a win. Yay, you beat an inferior team. Good for you. And I'm not saying anything bad about Appalachia State. That's the first school that popped into my head. It's just that I don't understand. See, the reason I love NFL football is there are 16 games in the season with one off week in the regular season. Every game is important. Every game matters. And in college football, you have this number one team playing unranked teams. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they don't play ranked teams throughout the season, but how are you supposed to get better if you're Appalachia State and you're playing number one Alabama and they beat your ass by 42 points? That doesn't make you better. That makes you the laughingstock of football. Now, I could be wrong about this, but, I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy the college playoff, which is something that really intrigues me around the end of the year. Last year I was pulling for Oklahoma, and they kind of fell short. But anyways, this is going to be a short segment this week. I apologize for that. Football's back. Baseball's getting ready to wrap up. My Braves have had a horrible fucking season. We're looking at the number one, or I believe possibly number 2 draft pick in next year's baseball draft. We got a lot of work to do. My Sox are looking to clinch their division. I believe they're up by 2 or 3 games now over the Blue Jays. So baseball playoffs should be amazing. I really can't wait to see that start. And playoff sports is when I pay attention the most. That's when I watch basketball. That's when I watch baseball the most. It's when I watch hockey the most. I have several different hockey teams I like. I love Pittsburgh, the Penguins. I believe on the first show I talked about them winning the Stanley Cup this year. I love the Toronto Maple Leafs because I am of French-Canadian descent, so one part of my family is from France, and I believe some of us migrated to Canada. So I do like Canadian hockey teams. Not so much more than the American teams, but I love Montreal, Calgary, Edmonton. But Toronto, I would say, is my favorite Canadian team. And of course, I love the Bruins because I live in the Northeast. All right, this is going to be a short segment this week. Again, I apologize. I'm going to take a short break, and I'll be back with segment 4. This is just a friendly reminder. You can pick up Wicked Carnival Productions' first feature film, Sins of Man, Rise of Mortis, at bullmoose.com and at Bull Moose locations throughout the state of Maine. Once again, that's Sins of Man, Rise of Mortis, available at bullmoose.com. And now, back to the Maine Morgue. Hey, I'm back. I talk a lot about the strange emails I get and messages and things like that. And someone emailed me and asked me if I could go through my weekly TV viewing schedule. And I'm like, why do people want to know what I watch on TV? Is it a way for them to kind of get inside my head and get to know me a little? And my wife said, oh, just do it. It'll be fun. So I actually sat down at my computer in my office, and I went through the new fall schedule and wrote down all the shows that I'm going to watch this upcoming year. Oh, and by the way, on a side note, fuck you, CBS, for canceling Limitless. I love that fucking show, so fuck you. Okay, here we go. Monday, I watched WWE Raw, Gotham, Lucifer, which I think that show is fucking amazing, and Supergirl, which is now on the CW. Tuesdays, I watch SmackDown Live, Scream Queens, The Flash, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think Andy Samberg is a comedic genius. Many of you will disagree with me. I love his band Lonely Island. I think Andy Samberg is a genius. When that show came on a couple of years ago, I told my wife he is going to win at least one Golden Globe, and sure enough, he did. And I believe they won for Best TV Show, or Best Comedy Show, or something like that. Wednesdays is a very short TV day for me. I watch Arrow and Criminal Minds. Thursdays, I watch Legends of Tomorrow, which I think that show is amazing for what the concept and what they do on that show. The visuals are amazing. I also watch Impact Wrestling and Grey's Anatomy. Fridays, I don't watch TV as it is movie night with my wife. Saturday, I watch Ring of Honor Wrestling. Sundays, I watch Once Upon a Time and Secrets and Lies. And those are seriously the only shows that I watch during the week, at night. During the day, I listen to music and work in my office, writing, working on emails, and of course, writing this show. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this show is written. I'm sure you can tell because I pause a lot because I have to look at the opposite screen to look at my notes. Going back, I watched Raw. I watch Raw because I'm a wrestling fan. I watch Gotham because I love Batman. I think that's a very interesting TV show. The fact that they're giving us young Bruce Wayne and how he develops his thirst for vengeance and justice in becoming Batman. Lucifer is an absolute amazing show. Supergirl is great. SmackDown Live, I watch that every Tuesday. Before it went live, I never watched SmackDown because I can just read the results on the internet. Scream Queens going into season 2, I think it'll be funny. The fact that they're going to be working in a hospital, I can't picture the Chanels working in a hospital, but I'm a huge fan of Emma Roberts, so I will watch that show. The Flash is going into season 3, I believe, which I will watch that because I love that show. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I believe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is on its last legs, but where ABC is owned by Disney, or they're partnered with Disney, I don't think it'll get canceled. It might, I don't know. And like I said, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I just love Andy Samberg. Arrow on Wednesdays. I watch that every week, and I usually DVR it as well so I can watch it over and over again. It's one of those shows I just get hooked on. I actually have episode 6 of season 2 on my TV screen behind me. It's paused right now because I'm rewatching the entire series. Criminal Minds is my wife's favorite show, and we watch that every Wednesday. I love the show. It's going to be weird without having Derek Morgan on it, played by Shamar Moore. And, of course, if you haven't heard, Thomas Gibson is going to be only be on, I believe they said, the first half of the season, as he was let go by the Criminal Minds group, or the Criminal Minds writers and producers, and by CBS. And they're bringing back Agent Prentice, who is played by Paget Brewster, I think is her name. Amazing actress. She'll do great. Glad to have her back. She's one of my favorite characters. Legends of Tomorrow, I have to say I'm a huge Captain Cold fan. Hopefully he comes back on the show. I know he was killed because he's doing Prison Break, but we'll see. I will like that show regardless if he comes back or not. He's played by Wentworth Miller, who is an amazing actor. Impact Wrestling, again, I'm a wrestling fan, and they've been getting better now that Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins is their president and in charge of the booking. And Grey's Anatomy. That's another one of my wife's shows that I watch with her. I occasionally watch it, but I don't pay really close attention to it most of the time. I watch Ring of Honor Wrestling on Saturday, which I think is the best wrestling on television. It's also the best wrestling in-ring. For the in-ring product, I think it's the best wrestling on the planet. Right up there with New Japan. Sundays, I watch Once Upon a Time. I've been a fan of that show since day one. The acting is amazing. The stories, while they tend to change things from the original stories, I enjoy some of that for the most part. And Secrets and Lies blew me away last year. I can't wait to see what they do next. From what I understand, it's going to be a separate story. So we'll see what happens there. And that's what I watch on TV, folks. I just want to give you guys a little insight as to how I feel about each show on the list. So, as always, continue to send me these really weird questions, and I'll try to answer one or two of them on each show. I thought it was funny and I laughed when I read the email because I was like, is this person joking with me? So I emailed them back. I'm like, are you serious? Do you really want me to write down my TV viewing schedule? And the person replied back, yeah, I think it would be cool to know what a person like you watches on TV. So there you have it. And I'm glad I could answer your question. All right, I'm going to take a short break. You're listening to the Maine Morgue. Welcome back to the Maine Morgue. I am your host, Jamie Santamore. Segment 2 this week is going to be centered around the announcement I made last week on SinsOfManMovie.com and on YouTube. The video basically divulged to the world that I would be officially stepping down as director of Sins of Man 3 Tribulation, which is our final film in the Sins of Man trilogy. And there are a few reasons that I decided to step down. Mainly because I wanted to create the best possible movie with the resources we have available to us. And the best way for me to do that is to concentrate on the storytelling and the writing of the script. And I want to be 100% clear with everybody. I was not forced out by anyone. This was a decision that I came to on my own after conversing with the person I selected to take my place as director. And I laugh whenever people email me and ask me if I was booted from the project. Because I am the owner and the founder of Wicked Carnival Productions. Sins of Man is my screenplay, my idea. So who exactly would force me off the project? I mean, it's my own project. And it's comical when you stop and think about it that way. I made this choice because it is what is best for business. It is what is best for the project and the franchise. And I'm leaving the directing up to a much more qualified person, that being Chris Fife, who is my executive producer on the first two movies, my cameraman, my audio guy, my sound guy, my music man. He does so much behind the scenes that I think he will do a much better job than I can as the director of Sins of Man 3 Tribulation. Now, I'm not walking away from the project completely. As I stated in the announcement, I'm writing the script. I'm staying on as script supervisor, so I will be there on set every day. And I'm staying on as a producer, so I will have somewhat of creative influence on the project. And Chris and I get along amazingly, so I don't think there will be any issues whatsoever with us having conversations on set. I don't think it'll get heated at all. And I think he's going to deliver an amazing film. I'm 100% sure that he can do this. And I know he's going to make an awesome film to finish off the Sins of Man trilogy. I'll be right back after a word from another one of our sponsors. You're watching The Maine Morgue. Alright, I'm back. In segment 5 this week, I'm going to spill the beans about the opportunity I talked about a couple weeks ago on the show. I talked about making Sins of Man, Rise of Mortis, and all other feature films from Wicked Carnival Productions available worldwide. And I was offered a unique opportunity. And I received permission to divulge more about this. Actually, it happened last week, but I had already recorded the show. So, here it is. John Leeper of thebloodshed.com is launching a rental service called I Bleed Horror on YouTube. And I have agreed to put my films on this service as a way to generate revenue for Wicked Carnival Productions, so we can continue to create new titles for horror fans to enjoy. The rental fee will be $2 per rental, with the creators like myself receiving 80% of each rental, and I Bleed Horror takes the extra the leftover 20%, which is an amazing deal for us creators. If you have stuff you want to get out there, I believe they're taking feature films and short films. Contact John Leeper via Facebook or his website, thebloodshed.com. I am very excited to have this opportunity as a way to get my films out there to the world and not have to send DVDs to Germany or France or England or Italy or India or Australia. That was fun. The paperwork on that one from Customs was interesting, which I hate doing, by the way, but I do it because I love my fans. It was actually neat. I signed up for, I'll tell a little story here, because this is going to be a very short segment unless I keep talking. I got an order from a friend of mine, a fan in Germany, and I become friends with most of my fans that contact me via social media. Anyways, John, he lives in Germany. He's originally from the United States, but he lives in Germany now with his wife, and it took so long to get that paperwork. So I went online, and I made out all the paperwork, and I actually was able, through stamps.com, print a shipping label. Put it on the envelope, took it to the post office, everything was good, and boom, it was gone. And we stopped doing that because it was just so time-consuming to be able to have to go to the post office, because where I live, my post office doesn't do pickups for priority mail, because where I live in a small town, so they don't have that service. So I would have to take my little grocery shopping cart that my wife and I have, load it full of DVDs and pictures and all that stuff, and mail it out, once or twice a week. And it just got to be too time-consuming because, as I've said before on social media and blogs on the website, I do this all myself. I don't have a secretary. I don't have a staff of people working for me. It's just me. So if I'm out doing a mail run or out at an appearance or on set, I'm not in the office working. And then emails get behind, tweets get behind, writing gets behind, and that kind of thing. So this opportunity to get the movies out there on a rental basis with an amazing revenue sharing package, I jumped at it. And I'm very honored that John reached out to me, and my friend Jesse Gilbert, also known as Raz T. Slasher, actually mentioned me to him. So, brother, I appreciate that greatly. You know I love you. Keep doing your thing over there in Ohio. Jesse, or Raz, wrote a book titled The Mime, and also made a feature film, The Mime. Check that out. I believe it's available on Amazon. I know the book is. I still have to go out and buy a copy because I keep forgetting. Every time I get money, I spend it on everything else, and then I'm like, oh, meant to buy that book. But yeah, check that out. Jesse's a good friend. He's my brother in horror. I love that guy. He's awesome. And listen to his podcast, the Raz and Dark podcast. Check it out. I've been on there a couple times, which is a surreal experience, which is what gave me the idea to do a podcast. Because I've done radio too through my buddy Eric Perry, who is a paranormal investigator in New Hampshire. He used to have a radio show, and on the radio you have to be very careful what you say. On a podcast, I can say any fucking thing I want, which is why I love podcasts, because as my mother tells me, I swear like a fucking pirate. Which is true, but only when I get aggravated. So that's the information I have on I Bleed Horror on YouTube. I believe it's going to launch as soon as they have 100 titles, and last I knew they were up to 70, so it could be happening anytime now. If you're a content creator, feature films or short films, get in touch with John Leeper. I'm sure he'd be happy to add you to the list. I'm going to take a short break, and I will be right back with segment 6 of the show, where I will talk about adding stuff to the Maine Morgue channel on YouTube. Check out the official website for Wicked Carnival Productions at wickedcarnivalproductions.com. There you will be able to read our blogs, watch our videos, movie reviews, catch up on all things Wicked Carnival Productions, all things Sins of Man. We would greatly appreciate your support, and please check out wickedcarnivalproductions.com. Now back to the Maine Morgue. Welcome back, folks. I've been thinking a lot since I started this about adding stuff to the YouTube channel and putting it on the Wicked Carnival Productions website under the Maine Morgue header. And I think what I want to do is I want to call it the Maine Morgue Extra. You know, where it could be, 1 or 2 times a week where I talk about maybe a movie review video, or just an audio segment where I talk about sports or wrestling or whatever. I'm a little unsure in doing a video, because while I've done them for Wicked Carnival Productions and sinsofmanmovie.com, I'm unsure about doing them for the Maine Morgue. I'm not very comfortable in front of the camera, and if you could see my footage from the movies, the behind-the-scenes footage where I flubbed a line, you'll know why. I have a thing where I will stare at the camera when I'm talking on these videos, and I think it creeps people out. And I can't look off to the distance because I feel I should be looking at the camera. So, and it's funny, when we did another funny little story I'll tell you. When we were doing the interviews for Sins of Man 2 Vengeance and the bonus disc DVD, that's going to actually it's going to appear on the Blu-ray box set. I said, well, Chris, because he did the interviews, do you want me to look at the camera, or do you want me to look at you? How do you want to do this? And he sat just behind the camera on the right-hand side, or left-hand side, rather, and he said, look at me like we're having a conversation, because you'll be talking to me. I said, okay. And you could tell in that, if you saw the raw footage, I'm sure Chris will doctor it as best as he can. If you watch the raw footage, I'm very nervous. I don't like answering questions. Because I didn't have time to think of the answers, because the questions were asked right then. I had no prior knowledge as to what the questions were going to be. I would have been much better prepared. But he said that wouldn't be genuine, so he just peppered us with questions as he saw fit. So it might be a video, it might not be. If you're wondering why I don't do a video podcast, go to wickedcarnivalproductions.com and watch one or two of my movie review my movie review videos, and you'll see why I don't do a video podcast. If a video podcast or video review is something you guys would be interested in watching, let me know. Send me an email or give me a comment below in the comment section. You can always email me suggestions or comments or questions or ideas if you have topics you guys want me to talk about. themainmorgue@gmail.com. I'm going to wrap the show up this week by saying thank you so much for listening to the show every week. Please subscribe and like this video. It means a lot to me. It means I'm doing something right if I see likes and subscriptions. I need your support to keep this going. And it's not that if I don't get subscribers or likes on the videos or podcast, I guess you can't really call it a video. I say video because it's on YouTube. It's not like I'm going to stop if you guys don't subscribe, but it would be nice to know that you guys are listening. And, you know, clicks are great. I check my analytics a couple times a week. Views on videos are going up steadily. So, thank you guys, so much for listening to the show. I appreciate it. I love doing the show. It's a way for me to get my thoughts out there to the world. Take care, everybody. Be safe as we're heading into the new season of fall. Roads are going to get slicker because it's going to be colder. Shh, don't say anything. I don't want it to snow before Halloween. I hate that shit. Shh. Don't say the S word. It's a bad word. And I'll be back next Wednesday with another episode of the Maine Morgue. Stay humble, stay hungry, everybody. And I'll see you guys next week.